It's about 11:30 a.m. Korean time. It is cold outside. It is like -1 or something.
It's not that bad, actually.
It's true.
Yeah, compared to a few days ago, it was like -10, -7.
Yeah.
And nowadays it's minus something, but
Hello.
Good, not that bad.
Yeah.
Hey guys. Hey.
So yeah, I guess we'll have to look in three places. Because to my left is Facebook, to our center is Instagram, and to our right is YouTube. So apologize if we can't make eye contact with everybody.
Yeah, we do like time to time,
So today, first we'll start off with a couple of our reminders. So as you know, we run study trips every year. We have a variety of study trips. You can find them all on studytrip.com. And for the study trip applications, we have one coming up very soon, due January 31st for our Taste of Korea trip during the spring. So we hope you all will apply and join us in Korea during the spring for a food-focused study trip. And you may have seen our promo video on our various social media platforms. And then for our other study trips during the summer, those deadlines are in May. So those are normally very popular. So we're about like half full on both of those right now. So please apply soon and pay your application fee to reserve your spot. And so those applications will continue to be open until we fill the trip. So they may close early if we fill all the spots. So just be sure to apply and pay early. And we'll, of course, answer any questions you have about those today as well, if you have them.
So the purpose of this video is, if you have any questions about live and stuff in Korea. So this is live. So if you have any question, feel free to comment below or ask now so that we can answer you back. We have done this like early, middle of last year, and then we were busy with supporting our student in Korea. So we haven't done it like recently, but we want to do more often for this year. So, this year, today, Nathan and I will answer if you have any questions on, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And if you, even later, if you comment below on our video, maybe if you can put your email would be amazing. Otherwise, leave a comment below and then we can answer you back later. So, keep in touch. And yes.
Yeah. I saw someone's applying for the study trip on Friday. That's great. We look forward to receiving your application. And thank you everyone for joining us. The next thing is for those that want to study long-term, our university partners have deadlines coming up for the spring term, which starts normally in March. And some of them have already finished their application period, but others it's still open through this week or next week. So if you want to start in the spring, you still have a little time to apply for a long-term. Oh,
hey,
we have we have a former student saying hi. It says, how difficult is it for Latin people to speak Korean? We actually have if you speak Spanish, we actually have a Spanish-speaking student coordinators. So if you email us, they can respond to you probably better than Eddy or I can, since I'm American and Eddy's Korean. But we do have a lot of Latin American students that study with us, so it's definitely possible. And we think that,
I would say it's not just only Latin students. We have heard lots of people from all around the world. It's not easy language to learn. So that's why, we want, if you can, of course, if you want you to stay a long term, if you are really want to improve your Korean skills. So minimum would be 6 months, but up to 1 year. And of course, the student visa is up to 2 years. So you can study 2 years with the student visa with extension. But in order to improve your Korean skill, it takes quite a lot of time and energy and your dedication.
Right.
So that's just only Latin students.
Yeah. We recommend that if you do want to improve your Korean a lot, you should stay maybe 6 months to a year. So just let us know, email us, or use our contact form, and we can of course advise you on what the best route would be for you.
Yeah, and also many people, some of them studied in overseas, in her or in his country before, but still, So what I want to say is that like each people is different, even for the language skills. But you can start from scratch. And if you are like intermediate or if you have come before, it doesn't matter. Like they will study, they will have a test before or in the first day of the school or before the school, before the first day, and then they will assign to the proper levels. And sometimes they have a hard time to even though follow the level. Then we can, you guys can tell us that so that we can talk with the school. Then we can, adjust your level, your class based on your real level. So you don't have to worry about that much. But study is hard. But so you need to, input lots of energy time.
Right. Besides our long-term university programs, we partner with a private academy called Lexus Korea, based in Gangnam and in Seoul, and then in the Seomyeon area in Busan. So they've just recently updated their fees for 2019. So if you go to our SNS and you can see it, our social media, or on our school page, of course, is all the updated information as well.
And before notice,
we have some Instagram comments here.
You guys have been very helpful with the emails and answering our questions. Yeah, that's our job.
Yeah. And if you're an English speaker, you've probably been emailing with me. Yes. So thank you very much for sharing that comment. And hope to continue to support you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what your email address is based on your Instagram username, but that's okay.
And also, if we miss your questions now because we are watching 3 monitors, then we will follow them up like after the live video. So don't have to worry. Or you can shout us once again.
Yeah. Oh, here's a good comment. If we didn't know how to speak Korean, if we don't know how to speak Korean, do we have to go to Korean class first in our country, or can we also learn in Korea? You can start from knowing no Korean in language school. You can start learning when you get to Korea. You don't have to learn it first in your home country. All the language schools will give you a placement test anyway, like Eddy said. If you don't know any Korean, then of course you'll be placed in a beginner level, but they'll start with you right from the very beginning, from learning Hanguk, the alphabet, and then from there they'll build up to more difficult grammar and vocabulary. So no, you don't have to have any exposure to Korean language before studying if you'd like to study in Korea. And thank you, Madison, for the recommendation. She says 10 out of 10 recommending Lexus and gogohanguk. We really appreciate that, and we hope to help many more people in the future.
Yeah.
Another update, kind of directly related to studying in Korea, is if you're interested in taking the TOPIK test. The organization that runs TOPIK is the government, and they have updated their terms about getting your test scores. So if you've taken it in the past or are thinking about taking it, you're going to need to pay attention to this, because from July 1st, any old expired TOPIK tests, they're not letting you see the score or print the test certificate anymore. So as you may know, the TOPIK test scores only are valid for 2 years. So let's say I take the test, let's say I took the most recent one, which was in January 13th, this past weekend. If you get to 2 years from now in 2021, and the test score expires, then you won't be able to get your test score certificate anymore. So just be aware of that when you're taking the test. Maybe that's just something they're doing to help with, I don't know, administrative overhead. But the important thing is to know that once you get your score, make sure to print it off. You can print like an official certificate from their website. And then when it expires, then you can't ever reference that score again. You have to retake the test to get another official score.
And also, we are planning to have another live video during the next week regarding the TOPIK test. So we invite one of our students in Korea now. She took it already, or she took it. Yeah. She took it the TOPIK test in Korea, and then we will ask her how was it, and then the preparations and the booking process, all the things. So next week Friday, we're gonna do another live video about the TOPIK only focus on the topic. So if you are, interested in, join us later as well.
Yeah. Question about the study trip. Do we take the placement test for Lexus Korea for a study trip student? Yes, you will, and we'll send you a link to the pretest probably during the spring when we collect a little bit more information from you if you've already applied. Or if you're going to apply, you'll take a pretest as well. So don't worry if you're an intermediate or advanced language student, then you'll be placed accordingly. And I answered the question about class size at Lexus Busan. The class size is quite small there still. It's probably less than 10 students for any given level. So probably average 5 or 6 students. So if you want a smaller class size, then that's a great option for you.
And also the Lexus Busan has a special promotion for this year. So if you register 4 weeks, you will have like 1 week for free. But you need to study before April, I believe. So if you are thinking to come early, like springtime of 2019, then this is perfect time to register for the Busan campus of Lexus Korea. So, contact us now so that we can help you for the process, all the things.
So someone asked on YouTube, can we see a live class video at Songyungwon? Right now, it's a little challenging. We've been trying to work with them to get some sort of more marketing videos. So that's still in the works. Right now, we don't have a class observation video for SKKU, but hopefully in the future, we'll get one for you.
And yeah, our job is to provide all the information to you, the updated information. However, it's a little bit challenging because each school has different system, each school has different culture. So sometimes they don't allow us to take a picture, even photos, even talking with the student. However, we are going to try harder so that we can get more. Otherwise, and also, we want to have like another like student review or other videos with you so that you have more options or informations.
Right. Let's see. Oh, next important announcement. As many of you know, we've been to KCON for the past 2 years, 3 years?
3 years. 2016, 17, 18. Yeah, 3 years.
Yes, 3 years. And we're happy to announce that we'll be going again in 2019. So stay tuned for more news about that. As you know, we normally have a booth, and then we try to also give talks about living and studying in Korea. So for instance, in LA this past year, I was there and kind of talked about my experience in Korea and answered all your questions upfront and honestly about just life in Korea and life as a language student in Korea. So if you want direct access to us, me and Eddy, one or both of us, then we'll be happy to answer any questions there as well in person. And you can see we're real people, not just robots or images behind a camera. So stay tuned for that. The KCON information for this year isn't quite finalized yet, but once it is, we'll get you more updates as soon as possible.
So for this time, we are going to go New York and LA both.
Right.
So, we meet like East and West people. Yeah.
So yeah, exciting times.
Yeah.
And so yeah, keep posting questions or comments on all of our different live streams we have going here.
There is one missing questions. So what is student life like in Korea? LOC. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
It's quite simple because if you are going to study long term, you are going to study in the university program, and the university program is set. So the time would be either like in the morning or in the afternoon, 3 to 4 hours per day. So you're gonna study hard, like intensive study course for the like 4 hours per day, 20 hours per week. And the other hours is totally up to you. Of course, there would be, I heard many like assignment, like test or quiz or presentations, but other than that is totally up to you. So you can do whatever you want. And I want you to work, I want you to like live like, enjoy your life basically in Korea, what you are, imagine. And also there's many things ongoing in Korea. And you are going to study in the Seoul, Busan, and Daegu, the other city. However, you are, Korea is not that big. So if you like travel, I want you to go like the other cities would be like totally different, like views and people and direct. Yeah. So I want you to travel and feel like experience a lot of things. It's totally up to you, So it's quite simple, but based on your plan, it would be very exciting.
Yeah,
I would say. Yeah.
If you want to study really hard, then I'd say language school, you should look at it as a full-time job. If you really want to improve your Korean in a short period of time, you should, as we said, go to class and then, of course, do your assignments, review and preview material. And if you do treat it as a full-time job, then you'll, of course, reap the reward of your hard studies. You'll improve your Korean a lot. Make sure to practice with your classmates, with any friends you make. And of course, there's language exchange opportunities in different cities. You could find someone to help you improve your Korean, and then maybe you could teach them your native language. So, yeah.
And also some of the universities like this kind of scholarship program. So if you are good at the school, like attending 100%, or if you are good at the like test per term, then there would be some kind of like discount following months, following terms, or things like that. So of course it depends on school. So if you work hard, there would be some kind of consequences. The good things,
positive consequences.
Yes.
Oh, someone asked how much is it? So we offer different programs for different people and what you want. So for instance, our study trips, those are like all-in-one package product, and the prices are on studytrip.com. And for the long-term study, that really depends on how long you study and also what kind of accommodations you want. So you can find all the tuition information on our school pages on our website, gogohanguk.com, as well as like general accommodation prices. If you look at the top menu, there's accommodation. You can just click that or tap that, and it'll bring down the options for the different cities. And again, you kind of have to calculate it for how long you want to study and what's best for you. We're going to get into more questions and details about both in just a minute. But thank you so much for your question. That's a big question everyone asks.
Yeah, and this is Eddie and Nathan. We are answering your questions live video in Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So feel free to leave a comment below. So once again, there are many like monitors that we are watching. So if we miss some like questions, tell us again, or we are going to leave a comment below. Or if you can leave your email, then we can email you back with more like informations. So thank you for your understanding in advance. And other questions.
I'm really excited to apply. I look at the website every day. We're glad. Keep looking at the website. And if you see something that you have a question on, then please email us if you haven't already. So in regards to, I think, do we have any other questions here? Oh, people wrote a lot.
Busan is beautiful. Yes, I love Busan.
I'm curious about accommodations for the summer study trip. So right now for the summer course study trip, the homestay is included, or you can also stay in a mini studio. And in general, you can come and go as you please. If you live with a host family, of course, you should kind of respect them and maybe not come home at like 3 a.m. But the mini studio,
you can come, but
yeah.
Like
I mean, you're an adult and they're adults, that they understand that. So same thing for the mini studio. Of course, you can come and go as you please. Just respect that people may be sleeping if you come home at 3 a.m. And the food for the homestay, the family will provide you breakfast.
Simple breakfast.
Yeah, like a simple Korean breakfast. Like, do you want to explain it?
It could be like a simple Korean breakfast, or it depends on the family. They give you like some bread, like simple bread, like Western style.
Yeah.
So it's totally up to the family members. However, they will only provide you the food in the morning.
And for the mini studio, they normally provide you with like rice and ramen and maybe basic
kimchi
things, kimchi, or maybe bread or jam or something like that. And if you're wondering about other meals for the summer course, we may have some events around meal times, in which case we'd include food, but otherwise you should bring money for your meals, and you can email us about specifics if you need to.
There's another
Also, we
question.
have
Somali to Seoul, the cheapest city to live in. Oh, you finish it?
No? Oh no, there's something.
Okay, other question.
Another question about the study trip. Can we travel outside of Seoul? Could I take? Yeah, I mean, there's going to be days where we don't have activities. So if you do want to take like a day trip to another city like Busan, or if you want to, Jeonju or wherever, then you're more than welcome to on those days. Another question. When there's no, yes. If there's no class, if there's no activity, then of course we understand you're an adult and you want to see Korea. So if you want to take a day trip, no problem. Just let us know that you're going to be going somewhere, just in case something happens, so we know where to find you. Cheapest city of the 3 cities we currently service, Busan and Daegu are on the cheaper side. Any other questions? No. Okay. So again, if you have another question, just if we don't see it or answer it, just let us know again. We're going to talk a little bit more about the study trips now, since a lot of people have questions about those, since the application dates are coming up very quickly. Probably the most frequently asked question is, do they include your flight? At this time, they do not. So you'll need to book your own flight ticket from wherever you're flying from into Korea. You can fly to Incheon International Airport or Gimpo International Airport. Those are the 2 major airports for flying into Seoul. And yeah, the price varies too much for everyone. We help people from all over the globe, so it's really hard for us to try to include that into the price.
But except the flight ticket, everything is including, like study Korean, the accommodations, and like all the plan has like pickup services and activities as well. So except the flight ticket, everything is in set. So you are just like come and enjoy all the 2 or 3 weeks.
And other frequently asked question is, can I room with a friend? And this is mostly for the youth Korea study trip that people ask this. And yes, you can. We'll try to honor roommate requests as much as we can. It of course depends on the family and their capacity for people. But for the youth Korea study trip, you have homestay. So if the host family, of course, has enough bedrooms, then yes, you can request to stay with your friends. And we'll do our best to honor any of those requests.
And each of the students will have like their own room. So for example, if friends, of course they can stay together. However, we ask them to give like each rooms for each person. So if the friends comes and stay in the same homestay, however, they are going to in the different room, but in the same home. Yeah. So there were some cases that 4 people stay in the same homestay, but in the different different rooms. So there's like 4 people staying in the same house is possible.
And as I mentioned earlier, we do offer the study trips every year, and the programs themselves, like the different study trips, they may change a little bit year to year, but we do offer study trips every year. So we've offered like the youth and the summer course since we've had our office here. And we've tried different ones based on like different seasons or different themes. So if you're interested in a study trip, then just stay tuned to studytrip.com, and that will have all the most updated information about the dates and times and when to apply and how much it is and the different plans that are offered. Because some of the study trips, we have different plans based on level of activities or things like that, while others we just offer one plan, giving you like the most experience you can have while you're in Korea.
And also, if you want, you guys need to let us know, because we cannot ask you like all of the people. So if you want to come this month with this region, then we are considering have another study trip. Why not? We have done this quite a lot of time, and we want what you want. We want to help you to come like whenever you want, basically. So please tell me, like tell us, so when and like how long you would come, and then based on that we can make another accommodation, or we can give you like options. This is the option, that is the option. So it's totally up to you. So you guys need to let us know.
And another question Can you talk about your airport pickup service? Yeah, so if you're on a study trip, then that's normally included, or if you're a long-term student, we can arrange that for you. So if you've never traveled internationally before, what will happen is you'll arrive at the airport and you'll go through passport control, which means some custom agent will look at your passport and they'll ask you maybe some questions, and then they'll stamp it or give you a little receipt. And then you'll go to baggage claim. From baggage claim, you'll get your bags, and probably even before that, you'll have filled out a customs form. And that just says, like, are you bringing in plants or animals, which of course you should say no. Don't bring like plants or animals into Korea. Don't hide lizards in your pocket or anything like that. And then you'll hand that form to the customs agent before you go to arrivals. There's going to be doors. You're going to go through these doors, and there you'll meet a driver, because you're going to get car service to wherever your accommodation is. It doesn't matter where you stay, a dorm, a homestay, a mini studio, they'll take you to where you need to go. You don't have to pay them anything. You'll pay in advance for the service, or we'll arrange it for you if it's included in the study trip. They'll help you load the bags in the car, and then you're off on your way. You don't have to worry if you go through like tolls or anything. They'll pay for that. You just can get in the car and enjoy your ride into Seoul. If you're flying into Incheon, it's going to take you like maybe an hour to get into town. Gimpo is closer, maybe 40 minutes, depending where you're staying. So you don't really have to worry. They'll have a sign or something with your name, and you can find them. And we'll of course give you the contact info for the person picking you up as well. If you are a seasoned international traveler, then you pretty much know the deal. Just look for someone with your name at arrivals. You shouldn't have trouble getting through the airport. There's staff there too, and there's also signs that say arrivals or baggage claim or something like that. So just walk towards those signs if you're in the airport, or if you haven't traveled very much, flown very much.
And also, we can do like drop off as well, not just only pick up. So if you want to, if you want to go home, like, in the like comfortable like way, without like bringing all the things from the subway, and on the subway, then we can arrange a drop off as well. So if you want, let us know.
Another question is, do you have, oh, sorry, I was reading.
Okay.
Do you have a partner, like, do you guys work with universities in the US for student exchange programs? So probably if you're talking with your study abroad office or your counselor, your admission, or your, what do they call it? Either admissions counselor or like student or counselor within your major college, then they probably have agreements with schools already. However, if you want to come study with us and get credit, then a lot of schools will allow you to do that. They will probably have their own requirements for receiving credit for a foreign language course. So if you just ask them for that and then say, I'd like to do an independent study or whatever at this school, and if they need like curriculum information or hours of instruction, then we can of course let you know. For 3 months at a university program, you're going to be studying for 200 hours. So that's normally more than even undergraduate course in a semester, because normally those meet for like 3 hours per week, from like September to maybe December or something like that. So you're in class for 20 hours per week in comparison. So just let us know if you need any further details about that, if your study abroad office or if your department needs that information. And
Leggy,
sorry.
She asked me, Leggy, her, obviously all this has a cost, right? I want to go, yes. So we, like I said, we have like long-term Korean course, and also short 2 or 3 weeks study trip. So each course has a price for each programs basically. However, our service is free. So if you want us, book the schools, accommodations, or like pickup service, all the things is like free of charge.
And someone asked about saving this video. It's on 3 places. It's on YouTube and Facebook and here. So if you're not able to show the live to your friends or family, then I direct you to YouTube or Facebook. So it's the exact same content. We're streaming from like 3 different places. We can, of course, like post the links later. And where can Where can I find halal food in Busan? That's a great question. If you want to talk more about like food in Korea, if you have some allergies or you're following a diet because of your religion, I highly recommend reading up on Korean food beforehand. Of course, there's like better access now to certain food, but
Even vegetarians.
even vegetarians or vegans. But as you may know, Koreans do like pork. So granted, there are places where you can go to eat that don't have pork, but that's used as like soup bases and things like that. So I know some people have very strict diets for one reason or another. But there's been plenty of coverage now on social media and websites that detail that, and maybe in the future we can cover some of that on our blog as well. So just be aware about things like that relating to your health or your diet.
No, missing nothing.
I think we answered that. Again, Nathan here and Eddy for gogohanguk. We're answering questions about living and studying in Korea. Let's talk more about long-term. A lot of people ask what an apostle is because they need that to authenticate their documents for long-term study. And basically, a bunch of countries got together and said, we're going to agree that this is the way we're going to authenticate documents for international use. So you don't have to take a document from Italy and have it like notarized or approved in Italy and then take it to Korea and then they have to do it again. You just do it once in your home country. So all the countries that are part of this agreement have a little different process. So for instance, if you're American like I am, the states issue apostles and it comes from the state government. But if, say, you live in somewhere like, I don't know, Sweden, then it's a different process. If you live in other countries, they have other authorities that do it. It may not be their Ministry of Foreign Affairs or Department of State. It may be like just a public notary that does it. So it's worth checking out, Googling, or using a search engine of your choice to find out the process. I've bookmarked a lot of countries' information, but a lot of times it's not always in your native language. It may be in English. So the best way for you to research that is just to kind of, besides the information I give you, to search on the internet. It's there, definitely.
And also good things about it, you know, if you guys plan to come to Korea, it's not like tomorrow things.
Right.
So we want you to prepare all the documents in advance. So if you get the puzzle, or let's say like in March and you want to come in September or even next year, it's totally fine. Doesn't matter when you get it. So whenever you think about to coming to Korea, I want you to prepare in advance. So, and we will give you like what you prepare based on your plan, based on your length of study, you know, then you can prepare in advance. Otherwise, it's gonna be a little bit troublesome if you do it like if you plan to do it like later, closer to the like application date, because there would be some like issues, problems, and like time taking problem, which we or you couldn't expect or didn't expect. So whenever you are planning like coming to Korea, and if you prepare, especially for the documents, education documents, then you do it earlier so that you can save your time, you know. Otherwise, it might cost more to do like fast track of something, That's why we I want to say that.
Yeah. So Eddy just talked about another piece of information, another question about how early should I start applying. We can, of course, answer any question you have as early as you want. But if you want to study, like, say, in 2020 or 2021, then I recommend starting the whole process like maybe 6 months out. Oh, sorry. I was shaking the table. So again, like 6 months out is a good length to start the whole process. That means 6 months is when you start preparing documents, not when you start emailing us to make sure you have everything you need. As Eddy said, some things can take a long time. And in relation to that, if you're a long-term student, you need to show a bank statement. And people ask, why do I have to show that? And why is it so much money that I have to show? And for one, the visa you get is a student visa, and you aren't able to work on that until 6 months after you receive the visa and have studied. So the school needs to show the government that you can support yourself. And you only need to show this bank statement once. You don't need to maintain that balance, because the school and immigration knows you have to pay tuition, you have to pay for housing, your plane ticket, and all those things. So after you show the bank statement, your documents will of course be approved, and then you can of course pay for the cost of studying and living in Korea. If you want to work later, then you can. You just have to get permission from immigration. But the first 6 months, if you're on the student visa, you are not able to work. And then in relation to the cost, can I pay monthly or can I pay in little by little? The way it works is that after your documents are approved, you're going to get an invoice. The invoice will have a due date that's about a week after it's issued, a week to 10 days. And you should pay that as quickly as possible, because the majority of you want to study with a visa. So the quicker you pay, the faster the school can submit for your visa, because they legally can't until they have the payment. This is due to issues with immigration to reduce the risk of immigration problems. So unfortunately, that's how it is, but that's the process they've been using for a long time. And we can, of course, give you more details if you need them about the application process. And so, long story short, you have to pay when you get the invoice. You can't pay like $100 each month or something. You have to pay off the invoice once you receive it.
And also, if you plan to study less than like 1 year, but however, for now, you have only 6 months course, 6 months fee that covered, then it's totally okay. So if you can just like register 6 months first, and then you can extend in Korea quite easily for the visa process and the payment, all the things. Like I said, we are staying here like in Korea, so we can help you in Korea. Support you like no time differences. So don't get scared about the cost in total. Oh, this is too big. I want to stay or study there like 1 year. However, I have only 6 months fee, like 6 months money. Then it's totally fine. You can just like, we want you to like go ahead for 6 months first, and then see how it goes. If you like it, and then if you can extend it, if you want to extend it, then like we can help you in Korea. So, and like I say, it's quite easier than like when you apply first time for the documentation or the payment. So feel free to let us know.
And I saw someone write in Spanish that they don't understand. So we can help you in Spanish. And sorry, we're not speaking in another language other than English. If you email us, then we can help you out. Just info@gogohanguk.com. Or if you go to gogohanguk.com and scroll down, you can see our contact form. Yes. So yeah, if you do need help in Spanish, no problem. And there was another question. The longest amount of time you can stay in Korea with the program. So with the student visa, you can stay for a maximum of 2 years. And as Eddy said, you could start with 6 months and then extend maybe to a year or a year and a half, whatever you'd like. Okay, is there a way to find a job as well during studying? If you want to find a job and you're a language student, yes, of course, if you're qualified, then you can find like a part-time job as a language student. You cannot work full-time legally. But if you find a part-time job, then no problem. Again, after the 6 month period has passed.
So you can work up to 20 hours per week with the student visa.
I heard that when you need to when you apply to class, you need to be very fast. Not necessarily. If you apply early enough, then you're okay. But if you're in Korea and you want to extend, there's a very short window to extend for current students. So that's when you should be quick, because the school takes extensions normally for only 1 week or 2 weeks at most. I'm going to sign up for a friend, great, or sign up with a friend, that's great. And yeah, if you get the mini studio, more than likely you'll be in the same building for the study trip.
And good thing about like coming with the friends, because our study trip has special promotions. So if your friends come together, then you guys can have like discount for each of you.
Yeah.
So the more, the better, I will say.
And let's see, I think we answered all those questions. Let's look at Instagram really quickly. Oh my.
Oh, maybe go up. Yeah.
Does this apply to? Oh, for the study trip, if you're asking in relation to how long can you stay in the country. So for the study trip, you can stay for that during your visa-free period. So you don't need a visa to come here for the study trip. And if for some other reason you wanted to stay longer, you could stay up to, I mean, for most countries it's 90 days, but just double check. And we can also double check for you too if you need us to.
Study trip, right?
Yeah.
So study trip, our program is 2 or 3 weeks based on the programs. However, if you stay longer, even after or before the study trip, is totally fine. So let us know. However, one thing, since we have done this quite a lot of time, I want to tell you one thing. Like summertime is very busy, very peak. So if you want to study, especially study at like July, August at Lexus, you better early. Otherwise, they will not have any space left. So if you want to study in the summertime in the Lexus, especially Lexus Korea, the private school, then please be hurry. Otherwise, you need to prolong your study later, like end of the year or so. Yeah.
And for the invoices for the study trip, the payment's a little different. We'll still invoice you. However, that has a deadline of payment for May for the summer study trips. So, and then for January for the spring one. So let's say you apply today and you need to pay off your balance for the study trips. You have technically until May to pay. However, as we mentioned, there's limited spots. So if the spots fill up and you haven't paid your balance, then your spot may goes to someone else. Of course, we'll say like, hey, we're running out of spots. You submitted your application form and your deposit. And if you want to go, then you need to pay as soon as possible. But if you need more time to pay, like you're not going to pay like in March, you're going to need to pay in April or something like that, then just let us know and we can work with you. We can be a little bit more flexible.
Especially like, Nathan mentioned before, our summertime, like summer course and news course for this summertime is quite, all of the places, all of the spots are already full, already filled, sorry. So if you are thinking to joining the program, please be hurry. Yeah. Otherwise, I believe like late January or early February, all the spots will be filled. So So you need to be hurry for those like registrations.
Yeah, someone asked about our partner Gogo Nihon about part-time jobs. Do you have it in Korea too? Currently, we don't have that service, but a lot of people do find part-time jobs when they study, and it just depends on your skills and background, really, what you can find. So if we hear something, then of course we'll share it with you. However, our specialty is helping you go to language school. So hopefully in the future, we'll have a similar service as our parent company, our friends over in Japan. Let's see. You're welcome for clarifying. It was a good question. We have a couple more frequently asked questions we can go through, and please leave your other comments and questions on our various live streams. And sorry if we can't look directly at you all the time. Another thing people ask is, like, will I have people from my country or speaking my language, my native language, in Korean class? And that really depends on the school and class and time you study. However, the majority of students that are going to be in language school are going to be from Asia. So, which is great for you. Then you can practice your Korean because you're all going to be learning Korean with each other. With our service, we're trying to get a lot more people maybe from the West into Korea to study as well, since it's shot up in popularity so much. And if you do want to meet people from your country in Korea, then there's definitely, sorry, I keep shaking the table, then there's definitely people you can meet. There's a bunch of different communities here, like if you speak French, or if you're, from South America, or if you're from the States or Canada or wherever, there's definitely people that you can meet from your country in Korea.
I mean, we are going to make a public our own more video about how many international students now living and studying in Korea. So you will be able to watch it quite soon. This year? No, sorry, this week. Sorry, this week. So there was, I believe, like 50,000 people. 50,000 people, studying in Korea, especially for language course, So there are a lot of people, international people. So we are going to upload the video quite soon, so you can have a look.
And how long do you stay there in Korea? So you can study for like as short as 1 week, or you can stay for as long as 2 years with the visa. So you can be in Korea for quite a long time studying if you'd like. And if you're asking how long we've been here in Korea, our office opened in 2016. So, and then
it's been almost 3 years.
Yeah, almost 3 years. And then our headquarters in Japan, they've been around for like 10 years.
Yeah, more than 10 years.
So we're very experienced with helping you live and study abroad. And we hope that you can have a life-changing experience living and studying abroad, either a study trip or a long-term study. And again, Nathan here with Eddy, drinking our coffee and answering your questions. And it's true, we have coffee. And we'll probably have time for a couple more as the live video is approaching an hour long. So if you, for some odd reason, are, sorry, Eddy's checking questions again.
No.
Looks like we're okay. So as you may know, Korea has very extremes for weather. It can be very cold in winter and very hot in the summer. And many people say, well, I just can't handle the cold, or I can't handle the heat. If you'd like to study in a more temperate environment, then we recommend coming in the fall or the spring when the weather is not as extreme. For example, I had one student that said they had never seen snow before in their whole life. And so they were kind of hesitant about coming during the winter.
Why not?
Same thing. Maybe you are from a country that doesn't get that hot in the summer. So having a summer that's 35 or 40 degrees isn't appealing to you, Celsius. So don't worry, you can come to Korea in the spring or fall and it's much more temperate. We have another question.
But I'm still want you to stay 1 year so that you can experience. Of course, it's intense, but I believe every country has intense weather for summertime or wintertime is globally happening, not just only in Korea. So I want you to experience all the seasons. Spring, summer, fall, and the winter time. I mean, why not? You're gonna live once in your lifetime. So we have 4 seasons in Korea, and the AC is working very well. The indoor system is working, amazing. So I want you to stay. If you can, I want you to stay, in 1 year to experience all the seasons.
Yeah, Korea does have 4 distinct seasons, so it is nice to experience that. I see a question in Spanish, and I can read Spanish, but my speaking is pretty bad. So I'll answer you in English. And we can have Pia, our Spanish coordinator, answer you specifically if you'd like to email us. Basically, they ask, if you study Korean language in a university, do you have access to all the same things like a regular degree-seeking student would? And I think I interpreted your question okay. If not, just let me know. It really depends on the school.
Right.
Some schools consider language students the same as everyone else. So you can go to the library and the gym and be kind of just a regular student at the university. Other universities operate their language school kind of separate from the the degree-seeking undergraduate and graduate students. So we can kind of guide you into what you have access to if you're a language student, depending on the school. Oh, thank you, Marvin. So yeah, I did study Spanish, but that was like many, many years ago. So I apologize for not speaking Spanish, but I can read most of it.
I have zero idea. Sorry about it.
And Eddie unfortunately cannot. And let's see. I think we had another question here on Instagram.
Yes.
If we study through gogohanguk short term, can we come back to study long term? Yes,
Totally
you can.
fine, yes.
You can definitely come back. We can definitely also help you with the visa if you'd like to study with a visa.
We must order things here.
Okay. Sorry, we missed some stuff on Facebook.
A lot of things actually. Sorry about it.
The feed wasn't updating.
Yeah, no.
Is there a financial aid? Some of the schools offer discounts, like Eddie mentioned earlier, based on your attendance or performance in class. So you can, of course, ask us specifically.
And sometimes, time to time, the Lexus Korea, the private school, has the special promotions. So we are going to upload, I believe like we are going to upload every time we have something on Facebook. So yeah, you will see.
Are we going to make kimchi again?
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course. Yes.
So that's one of our favorite activities during the study trip. So we are going to make a kimchi, and then you're gonna bring it to home. I'm not kidding. You're gonna bring it to home, and you can learn how to make a kimchi. That's the point of the activities.
Yeah. Can learn other things too. We'll have a bunch of different activities.
I learned from there. I helped my mother to make a kimchi. However, I have zero idea what to put there. Which I don't know, gochugaru and how many spoons of something, garlics. I have zero idea. But I learned from like 2 years ago with the activities.
Yeah.
So I can help my mother more. I hope.
Let's see, any other questions? Sorry, the Facebook feed wasn't updating live, so we're going through those questions right now. Sorry if we missed anything. It seems like some of you jumped to Instagram or YouTube also to ask your questions. We already talked about part-time jobs. Oh yeah, someone recommended checking with the Korea Tourism Organization for food and dietary restrictions if you're interested in more information about that. So thank you very much. And let's see. In terms of registering, we can walk you through that whole process. So if you email us, contact us, then we can help you with the whole process. Basically, it's just preparing a lot of documents, filling out an application form, and then from there, the school will invoice you. You'll pay. If you need a visa, they'll provide you the visa documents, and then you're on your way. We'll help you with the accommodation as well. From what age can you study? So if you want to do a study trip, then of course we have our Youth Korea study trip for 14 to 17-year-olds. If you're an adult, you can do our study trips for adults. Summer course, or the spring trip.
Over 18?
Yeah, over 18.
100.
Yeah, there's no upper age limit. Same thing with the long term. You have to be at least 18 years old or older and be a high school graduate. And at least a high school graduate, and then it doesn't matter how old you are. You could be in your 60s, 70s. You can be however old you want to be, and as long as you're at least 18 years or older.
And the long term, how about long term? Is that for the study trip only?
I said long term.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't need any IELTS score to study in Korea for the language programs because you're studying in Korean. And the courses will be in Korean language, even from the beginning.
Yes.
So don't worry if you can't speak English very well. We already talked about part-time job. We already saw Marvin's comments. Let's see.
Okay, to answer from here, YouTube. So how long people take to learn Korean in an intermediate level, maybe 2 years. It's totally, up to the person's skills.
Yeah.
But I would say, if you are going to study from the basic, which is like the beginners, then intermediate, I would say level 3 or level 4 is gonna take like full 1 year.
Yeah.
But like I said, they will have like a level test at the first day, and then you will be assigned based on your level and experience. So I would say from the basic to the intermediate, level 3, level 4 in university, 1 year, I would say.
Yeah. There's another question on Instagram. Can you receive your bachelor's degree in Korea? A lot of students ask about that, and a lot of students will first have to study Korean language because based on the degree program, it may be taught only in Korean in Korea. So after that, then of course, as long as you meet the admission requirements for undergraduate or graduate study, then no problem. You can apply to the undergraduate or graduate degree programs.
By the way, we have like 4 or 5 minutes left. So like I said, if we couldn't or didn't answer your questions, we are going to go through all the things and then we are going to answer you back. So if you can, feel free to leave your email address so that we can answer you in better way. Otherwise, even still, feel free to leave a comment below and then ask now.
So someone asked about just general like visa question, like say you're staying here long term. If you have specific questions about what you should do about the visa, either the student visa or if you want to study short term and then you want to take a break and come back, like what you should do about that, then email us about your specific question. Basically, if you're going to be a resident of Korea, you should have a proper long-term visa. And that includes the one we can help you with, the D41, which is for Korean language students. Otherwise, you can study with your passport if it gives you a visa-free period. Some people may qualify for a short-term visa, which is a C series, or some people may qualify for a working holiday, which is a H series visa, H1. So there are many different like situations, and we can of course kind of walk you through what would be best for you depending on your situation and what your goal is and how long you want to study. And here's another one. If you do not know Korean, can you learn it while you're there? Yes, you don't have to know any Korean before starting language school. You can start from the very beginning, or you can start as an intermediate or advanced student.
Of course, if you wanna, if you are basic, like zero idea about Korean, however, I want you to recommend at least knowing like a basic skills. If you are planning to come to Korea, I want you to, let us know 6 months advance minimum. Then during the 6 months, I want you to like at least like learn or watch a YouTube video or something saying, I wanna buy something, or I want to, where is the bathroom? Those kind of basic questions, basic like Korean skills would be very much helpful for your life in Korea. So I guess we have left 1 minute.
1 or 2 minutes left. So if you, as we've been saying, if you have other questions or comments, then of course leave them for us. And what makes Koreans such dominant gamers? Good question. I think it's just their dedication. Like Koreans, if they really want to work at something, they'll work very hard at it. And I think Koreans take that into the realm of gaming as well. And there's, if you want to meet people, then I suggest going to language exchange or doing something like that. It's where a lot of people are able to meet friends or also practice their language skills. You're welcome, four-dimensional _.
Anyway, we need to wrap it up. So
we're just about done here. Instagram's about to tell us we're done.
In 40 seconds, it scares me. Anyway, thanks for watching our live video on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And then we are going to do more about this in the future time. And if you have any question, feel free to let us know. We are here to help you. Anything last from you?
Which campus is our favorite? That's a tough question.
by Instagram, you are going to be
by
off in
Instagram, you're
10
off in 10
seconds.
seconds. We, of course, have a lot of different partner schools, and they all have different styles of campuses. So I don't know if we can pick a favorite. We all have, well, Instagram is going away. Bye, Instagram. So we'll see you next time.
Next week. Next week,
yeah,
Friday.
next week. We'll see you next week when we talk more about the topic test.
We are going to inform you when and what time, but it's going to be Friday. I'm afraid this time would be afternoon, but you can, watch it later, on our channels. So follow us.
And yeah, we'll see you then. And if you have questions about specifically the topic test, we'll have a student with us that will talk about it because they just took it very recently.
Bye, Madison. Talk to you soon.
Oh, thank you for coming over to YouTube from Instagram.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's only a 1 hour limit on Instagram for live video.
Somehow, yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here. And yeah, thank you for joining us, 4Dimensional and Marvin and JRB and Jessica, and we will
many people.
Yeah, many people. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah. So talk to you next week.
See you next week.
Okay. Bye bye. 안녕.